seal is broken. 4 horsemen shall ride forth to punish the wicked. Be they sons of men, lords of heaven, or the dregs of hell. All upon the earth will be judged, and the pact forged anew.
The horsemen were let loose upon the world. One horseman has fallen, and 3 more remain. Behold, the noise of the report has come, and a great commotion out of the north country. A war breaks out in the heavens, and a great dragon is cast down. His tail swept 1/3 of the stars out of the sky, and flung them to the earth. Malagos has betrayed us all, and takes 1/3 of the heroes of Azeroth. On Azeroth, strange events are happening. Crop circles begin to show up around the world. The blue dragonflight descends upon Azeroth. Woe to all your cities! They shall fill with the noise of a whip, and the rattling of wheels, galloping horses, and jumping chariots. A man named Ezekiel has seen the true nature of these disturbances.
Ezekiel saw the wheel. This is the wheel he said he saw.
Behold, a wheel set down upon the earth, and its appearance was a wheel inside of another wheel. Over mountain tops they leap, and nothing shall escape them. They devour all before them. The land before them is like the Garden of Eden, and behind them is a desolate and charred wasteland. The Nexus mothership lands on Azeroth. The Nexus War begins. Malagos begins to drain Azeroth of its arcane magical energy and channels it into the Nexus. If he succeeds, Azeroth will be torn apart. All the fountains of the great deep were broken open, and the windows of heaven were opened. northern continent trembles as Malagos bleeds the world of its magic.
I will bleed this wretched world.
In the midst of all this chaos, Malfurion is dying. Our realm begins to collapse. Soon there will be no one left, for Bullingballs is no longer here. I gather as many heroes as I can, and we begin our exodus from the realm of Malfurion to the realm of Area 52. As this journey begins, tragic tidings of another world invade my mind. A distant planet, so far away, yet so very close to home. Look with me to the life-giving planet of Earth. I see a world superpower in the midst of an identity crisis. The United States of America. You may ask, how is this even relevant to the world of Azeroth? And I will tell you. All dimensions, all worlds, and all realities are linked together. When one falls, like dominoes, they all collapse down upon each other. The same goes for the nations of the earth. These are troubled times. People are afraid to stand up for what is right, because they might be ridiculed or accused of being intolerant. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whosoever trusts in the Lord shall be safe. As the sole heir of Bullingballs' memories, I can tell you exactly what he would do. He would take a difficult stand, just as he always has. He stands firm in his beliefs and never backs down. He once told me, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. He would not stand boldly on both sides of an issue like an idiot, nor flip-flop between them like some politicians. America is a Christian nation and will always be so. It is not Islamic and never shall be Islamic. Why must I tolerate a religion that will not tolerate me? When people say that Islam is a peaceful religion, they simply don't know what they are talking about. Islam has nearly 1,500 years of violent and brutal history. Christianity and Islam do not worship the same God. The Bible's sixth commandment says, "Thou shalt not kill." The Quran says, "Kill the non-believers wherever you find them." It makes no sense to believe that they are the same. God is not the author of confusion, let alone be himself confused as to hand out two completely different doctrines. The killing of innocents is obviously wrong, and Bullingballs will always take a stand against these corrupt actions, and so should you. We pledge allegiance to the American flag, not the president. Stop judging a man's character by his words and color, and look at his actions. Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You cannot lift the wage earner up by pulling the wage payer down. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by inciting class hatred. You cannot build character and courage by taking away men's initiative and independence. You cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they could and should be doing for themselves. A man named Edward Gibbons, in his book, The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, he gives 6 reasons why the Roman Empire collapsed. Number 1, the rapid increase of divorce. Divorce is everywhere these days. Number 2, the belittling of the sanctity of the home. Parents are abandoning their homes and children. Number 3, higher and higher taxes, with public monies being wasted. Remind you of anyone you know? Number 4, a mad craze for pleasure that became brutal and exciting. He was talking about the Roman Colosseum. In our time, that would be sports and entertainment. Number 5, gigantic armaments for war while the nation decays internally. Number 6, the decline of faith in God that became a mere form and ceremony. I'm sure that represents most religions nowadays. In 1787, a Scottish history professor by the name Alexander Tyler had this to say about the fall of the Athenian Republic some 2,000 years before. A democracy is always temporary in nature. It simply cannot exist as a permanent form of government. A democracy will continue to exist until the voters discover they can vote themselves generous gifts from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidate who promises the most benefits from the public treasury, resulting that every democracy will finally collapse due to the loss of fiscal policy, which is always then followed by a dictatorship. Does that even remotely sound familiar? Absolutely. There is nothing new under the sun. Stand up, America. We must defend our future and our allies. And this shall be the plague that the Lord shall smite all the people who have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall dissolve away while they yet stand on their feet. Their eyes shall dissolve in their sockets, and their tongue shall dissolve in their mouth. What does that mean? It means if we don't take a stand for God, the nation of Israel, our allies, and ourselves, we the people will be judged. What can we the people do?
Call upon me, and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things that you know not.
93% of Americans believe in prayer. The power of prayer is unlimited when we pray to the God of our spiritual fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The same God that George Washington prayed to when he knelt in the snows at Valley Forge. The God that Abraham Lincoln prayed to when America was torn asunder. The God that thousands of Americans prayed to on D-Day when our boys stormed the beaches of Normandy. The God that our troops pray to now, and we also pray for them. Even the mighty Bullingballs knelt and prayed in his hour of need, and now I pray for him. We must pray for our nation and people to have a return to righteousness. I pray that we have the courage to stand against the terrorists who cause events like 9/11, the Fort Hood shooting, and the embassy in Libya. I pray that these losses of life may be avenged. I pray that America will stand up to those that would see us in ruin. If we do not use our freedom to defend our freedom, we will lose our freedom.